But for me, it's just another day in hell. So what you get to see is, and by the way, the criminal that I pointed out before was sitting right there by that chair. I don't know if the idea was that I would be here or that I was here, but on those two have the two faces of this crime from one side to the other, and this as a final aggravating point, because what you see is the throughout you have by the way the hand gestures, right? Everybody now talks with the phone holding like this, so it's just one of quite literally dozens as you see. And the why we collect faces, as you saw there, in places like that. No, first in place like this, because you see something absurd in every single one of the videos. That's why if in one of them or two you see something bizarre happening right in front of you, then perhaps I need to justify myself. Fortunately, that's skipped. As for the rest, as I said, several things are self-evident. Other things require some certain context. And as for the things that are going as of right now, the whole trigger for all of this is one of the three pillars of their crimes, all of their crimes, which is drugs. So some type of narcotic in there, or other drugs that goes in the paper. In the sample, you have literally the sample. What was in my body that was being shelled moved, and it's already on the fire to that red stuff. Where you get to see the specific type of drugs that they are throwing at in a very easy format, very easy to move around, very compact. By the way, you see how many strands, how much difficulty is placed on me by guys like Gelson and other criminals you see on a daily basis. We should assume if at any point evidence is damaged, destroyed, or corrupted, the proper weight is laid on individuals, causing individual strain and difficulty, not just the ones in the end, right? After all, several situations where you put those things to be just be able to do certain things that are useful. So again, as I said, just be sure to lay blame throughout the long-term crimes, not just to the trigger. The trigger man means relatively little. You want to know about the whole chain of events that lead there. Something I'm throwing right here, right now, which once again is going to lead me to tables. And this is documented for a reason, much like the interruptions were documented for a reason. You can just say that I'm hooping tables because there's a weirdo sitting immediately in front of me. But for all intents and purposes, the actual reason of the drugs that they're throwing on me said. Once again, arriving here, let me tell you, it takes a few seconds for lingering over, as I explained before. It's weird, I think, and also the whole thing oscillates by definition, so it's very difficult to tell. I would also have done this ages ago. It's very difficult to tell if moving over you have. What I can testify to you, and this is the point they say, no matter where I sit, for each seat that I went to in this restaurant, I tell the facts of the thing. Even though they started, my head was itching quite a lot, my head doesn't itch here. Have the facts of what now amounts to torture drugs with some extras, like for instance, my nose is tingling. My twitch a little bit. Oh, by the way, that also the thing. Did I load a resolution? I don't think I did. So yes, verbalizing, the criminal would sit conspicuously in front of me in a very weird manner, as I described to you a second ago, seemed to have moved away this many seconds since you heard the noise or since I mentioned, And I started closing things as soon as I sat down. So I would say in the time span of 15 seconds after I changed tables to this. And that's the files they say on archive for this crime and the details of how it happened. Now, again, I've identified that by face as well, so we really love to see the defense to that thing be. For what it's worth, as I said, drugs are better here now. I cannot conceive how a criminal that showed up after stealing all those things could have interfered for me to feel the things I was already feeling by the time I noticed it existed. And as I said, it was very conspicuous in his arrival. So, again, don't really know what they're going to explain to you, but that's a common staple for criminals. The point of you seeing the duality that of some other female thinks I had a baby, yes, was a baby that fought proper to stroll in just as much as to be immediately in front of me and then back to a seat that was supposed to be this one, but then shifted to be that one. As I said, it's a full duality of this crime, from what seemed to be like a shit swiper or whatever that is, to, I don't know if it's an employee. I actually didn't look, it didn't matter to me, and I thought it was going to be longer, to be honest. And so I wanted to be impartial, not knowing, so speaking as if it was just entirely stranger. But enough, I end up not looking for the end, so I don't know. But you know, so it's that. Again, they're the ones placing unorthodox emphasis in audio. All the recordings that make them meta in video, so don't know what the whole affair is. We usually have this idea of the criminals recording somehow things in audio and documenting everything that I can that matters whenever I can in video. As of right now, you're having a perfect shot with the female just getting closer with the baby strolling as if this is some sort of waiting only as much as in front of me, right in an area when I was distinctly noticing some narcotics in the air or some other drug. Because, crack moms are a myth. After all. Now, is that the case? That sure as hell doesn't look like it, but it looks the opposite. But as I said, none of those things are inexplicably lethal. I wouldn't be here if they were. What I can tell you is categorically no halfway I was feeling that, or at least I was at that table, but then I changed here and it stopped. When I was in the back table I was there, and then I changed to the forward table and it stopped. So there's a couple ways you can distinguish that. I imagine that it has to do with the frequency they're releasing, how easy it is for them to stop releasing to cause me to stop feeling something, or that I should linger something feeling. Tough to say. Could have some crazy sauce as well. Could be something on the food that I ingested rather than something in the air. Could be something that I ingested before and lingers on me. There are a couple possibilities. What I'm testifying right now is what I'm feeling and how I'm feeling, and I feel myself or record myself in audio the entire time. Okay, including in the bathroom when they stopped doing those drugs, that was being recorded. And for the entire time, you get I didn't even get to use the bathroom because of the drugs. Now it's an increasing drugs here, as of right now. So, I get the crack mom there, and start to look for another place in another area in high resolution.